Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 229. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we will be discussing the Peltor Tactical 500 review, a slide cut by Lone Wolf, and a SIG Legion. And if I sound funny, it's because my allergies are killing me, so I apologize. And tonight on the podcast, we are shorthanded. We only have Zane and Tony. So, which one of you guys wants to take what you did in guns first?
Let's not both do it at the same time. Let me see. What did I do this week? This week, what I did was take the High Point carbine, the 995WC, which is the Woodland Camo version. I took that and the CZ75 out to the range, and I ran some RE Factor tactical drills. Our Minuteman Challenge, 4 guys guns version of the weekly drill down. I ran that from 15 yards. It was just a ton of fun. Just did one drill, mainly because I just wanted to get a feel of it, because our Minuteman Challenge comes up on June 10th. And I wanted to have some darn fun with it, and I also wanted to make sure everything was still zeroed. And I wanted to get some time on my CZ75. I love that gun. And, dude, it's a CZ. It's the original CZ75. It's not a pre-B. And,
you know, I can't say anything because I have a CZ copy. I have an EAA Witness, which is essentially a CZ with a longer beaver tail and some front slide serrations or something. And in fact, original CZ75 mags actually will work in it. They just won't lock the slide back.
I wonder how much an EAA Witness freaking mags, because CZ mags for my gun are $45 each.
No, the EAA Witness mags are only like, well, aftermarket, they're like $25.
I might have to look into
that. Yeah, no kidding. Too bad you weren't closer. I'd just throw you one and see if it worked.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
But that's what I did with that. Yep, yeah. And then, oh, by the way, and then, High Point sent us out a couple of carbines for the Minuteman Challenge. So I took one apart and cleaned it, and then took ours, the one they sent me earlier, apart and cleaned those. So that took up a little bit of time. But now I'm used to tearing apart High Point carbines, so they don't take as long. But you do understand that these are not military firearms, and they don't strip down easy. It takes a little while.
It's like taking an 870 apart or something.
It's not that bad, but you need like the High Point tool. Well, you don't need it, but it makes it easier. And it's not something you're going to be rushing around doing quickly. You're not going to tear a High Point down blindfolded on the clock.
unless you want your clock to be all day.
I don't even imagine how that would go.
I believe there would be a lot of cursing.
Oh yeah, you're gonna learn some new words if you try to do that. And who are you gonna impress by tearing your High Point apart quickly with a blindfold on?
You.
Okay, yeah, you would. I really would be impressed.
It would probably impress me too. So if somebody's out there and wants to do it, go ahead.
Why not?
Yeah. Hey Zane, I think you're up.
Yeah, I haven't done much. I mowed my gun range, but that was about the extent of what I did at the gun range, unfortunately. I was supposed to go to a class, but we had a subtropical storm kind of come through, and we were supposed to get like 12 inches of rain or something, but it ended up not being a thing, but that had to get rescheduled. So, maintenance on the gun range. Like I said, class got canceled. I'm kind of looking at stuff right now, but yeah, pretty boring week for me.
Yeah, I had a pretty boring week. I'm still on the yard work kick. I did get time to write up the review I'm doing tonight, so there is that. Besides that, I think I loaded up some 9mm, and I got to go check it in some few guns because it's a bullet I've never used, so we got to make sure it works. And that's probably about it. So
where'd you load up? 115s?
yeah, they're 115. What are they? Jacketed hollow points, just or plated, I should say. They're, and I just haven't ever used that bullet before, so I loaded them up, and tomorrow I am going to run to the range after work and shoot them through like 3 or 4 different guns and see how they work. And if they work good, then I'll load up the rest of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the usual. They're just plinking ammo, really. Well, I guess we can get into the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. And the June patch is like 3 bottle rockets with like a lighter. I don't know if it even has a name or that's just kind of what it is. It looks pretty sweet. So go join that if you would like the patch of the month. If not, just buy stuff from them. I know they had a sale not too long ago on some stuff. Looked pretty cool. Ryan's doing a kick-up job over there. Give him some love or something if you see him. I hear he likes hugs, maybe some other things, but this is a family podcast. We can't discuss that here. Listener support program, go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast. If you want to donate us some money to buy stuff or take trips to like SHOT Show or something. And if you want to donate to Tony and his 2A4E diversity shoot and you're shopping at Black Bag Resources, anything you buy with the code 2A4E will be delivered to Tony and the diversity shoot. And as far as I know, he's probably still on the lookout for like a lower parts kit and probably some other
gas tube, lower parts kit, gas tube, gas block, and an upper.
There you go.
Stripped upper.
So,
and all those things are available on blackbagresources.com.
Well, I guess Sean just got a plug since he's never here anymore. Well, Rob's not here today, so who wants to do his job for him? Nobody? Okay, I guess I'll do it.
Hold on. What does he do? The announcement, the bandwidth sponsor one, or the disclaimer?
The disclaimer.
All right. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast of those of the individual co-host and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. All right, I have to apologize to Rob for all the times I goofed on him for messing up.
I was going to say, did you not ever do like reading for Marines when
Excuse me. I was choking on a crayon. I got it wrong. I really don't appreciate you bothering me.
The funny part is I give him a bad time too because I've tried to read this and for some reason it's not the easiest thing to read, and I don't know.
Yeah, whoever wrote this also writes limericks. I mean, what is that? It's not easy.
See, what we need is somebody that writes memes so that then we can read it and just puts a picture with it.
I was gonna say I got your memes.
Zane, you're up.
Whatever.
I mean whatever I say, but I really don't mean it. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we actually have a review tonight, thanks to me, because I had some time. And it is on the Peltor Tactical 500s. So if you're into shooting and haven't heard of Peltor, which is now owned by 3M, I don't know what to tell you. So
you're probably deaf.
What? So I saw them when I was at SHOT Show, and they were showing me the new 300s and 500s they have out. And they said they'd send me a pair. They didn't tell me which ones. Well, a month later or so, the 500 showed up. Okay, cool. They're okay. I'll get into that. They give you quite a few bonus features. I've been wearing noise canceling earmuffs forever. I have a pair of their Tactical 6S's that I've worn for almost 20 years, and they've served me good. But I've also worn other manufacturers. In fact, I think I have some of the Howard Lights, stuff like that. These TAC 500s have way more features than either of those. They have a noise reduction rating of 26 dBs while reducing any sound above 82 decibels. So loud noises, as you can guess. In order to reduce the sounds of the loud noises, Peltor uses what they call dynamic suppression time. What it means is that the electronics in it monitor the harsh sounds and echo, so if you're inside, to determine how quickly and how much to mute the volume. This particular feature works outstandingly well. I really liked how it only lowers the volume to basic noise talking levels, so you can still hear people. It's not like my old 6S's where, because they're old technology, they just cut out when they hear loud noise. These just reduce the volume to something manageable. So if there is shooting going on, you can still kind of hear what people are saying. I mean, they're still trying to talk over people shooting, so there is that. Another feature these things have that kind of resembles the dynamic suppression is clear voice tracking. And what this does is it senses voice levels getting input to the microphones, and so basically it kind of enhances them so you can clearly hear what other people are saying, kind of like I said before. This also works extremely well. Like zero problems understanding what people were saying, and that's really nice if you're shooting a competition or something, because if somebody yells stop or something, or a training class, that comes in real handy, that being able to hear clearly what people are saying. The Tactical 500s are fairly comfortable. Some of the reviews that I read and looked at, and I could notice it a little bit, they kind of press in the top of your head a little bit, kind of up here where the wires are covered pretty much. You notice it. I noticed it when I was just wearing them without like a baseball hat on. But when I had the baseball hat on, which I always wear anyway, you can wear them for long periods of time. I had them on for like 6+ hours, no discomfort. So it's kind of, if you like it that way, yes, they may cause discomfort depending on who you are, the shape of your head, etc. The headband is kind of vented. It has 3 like squares in it, which is what they call venting. I guess it probably helps. Like I said, I wear a hat, so it doesn't matter. The middle one was actually put there on purpose so that it will clear the button that's on top of a lot of baseball hats so that it doesn't press into that. In the review on the Firearms Insider, I shoved a hat in there and showed you so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. These ear cups seem to work fairly well for me. They were pretty comfortable. They fit over and sealed fairly well over my glasses, which sometimes can be a problem. And also, my understanding is the gel cups that 3M sells will fit on these. So if you want the gel cups for even more comfort, you can do that. Also, hearing protection, I don't know, if you shoot a lot of rifles, sometimes the hearing protection can ride up, kind of up on your ear and not really sit properly so that the loud noise still gets in. These have kind of a little cutout here, which helps when you rest it kind of against a stock or something to that effect. I didn't have any problems with these. The Howard lights that I was talking about earlier, they do lift up on me when I try to shoot like shotguns, rifles. Likewise, my 6S's did not, and they also have somewhat of a cut out there. Now, one of the coolest features of these things is with the 500s, they have built-in Bluetooth. So, allows you to pair your smartphone or whatever you have, tablet, if it has Bluetooth, with the hearing protection. Now, if you're just plinking or something at the range, it's kind of nice because then you can actually hear a phone call, a text, notification, etc.
You can listen to your favorite show on the Firearms Radio Network while you're at the range.
Hey, I haven't got there yet, but yes, you can. You got that wrong. You can listen to us while you're at the range. But also, if you get a phone call and you need to take it, you can push the little Bluetooth symbol in the center of your right ear. And what that will do is it will answer your phone call. And because these have microphones built in, you can actually talk to people on the phone while you're at the range without taking your hearing protection off. Kind of a big plus, because if you've ever tried to talk on the phone you got to take your hearing protection off. And even if you're in a somewhat quiet place, they're not quiet. So that's a big plus. Now we get into the one basic, thing that I didn't like about these was when they're on, there's kind of a whine or kind of a staticky whine. And the louder you turn it up, the louder it gets, and vice versa. I don't know if it's just these. It didn't do them when they were, it didn't matter if it was hooked to Bluetooth or not hooked to Bluetooth. So it's something in them. You kind of get used to it. It's not terrible, but when we get to the rating, I probably would have rated them quite a bit better if they didn't have that kind of annoying whine. Another nice thing about the Bluetooth is you can use it with shooting apps on your smartphone. So, and maybe even some timers. So that, like, if you set a par timer or something, you hear the beeps in your headphones, not outside your headphones and having to go through. Plus, as Zane said, you can listen to your favorite podcast on the Firearms Radio Network. I also use these to listen to music when I was doing stuff around the house, like mowing the lawn and weed eating and stuff like that. They are not music headphones, but as music headphones are not hearing protection, at least you can listen to music or podcasts while you're doing that stuff. And it seemed to work okay. It also includes a 3.5 millimeter cable, so that if you don't have Bluetooth capable device, you can always use it that way. And I thought that was a nice touch. They do fold up into themselves, like probably 99% of the hearing protection you can get. Comes with a nice little storage bag, so you can put your paraphernalia in it. And you can get a rechargeable battery for this. And so then you can plug it in and charge it with a micro USB, which is on the right headphone. There's a little rubber flap you pull down. That's where your 3.5mm jack is and your charging port. But otherwise, it runs on 2 AA batteries. I was really disappointed that they weren't 2032s, but you guys know how that is. One nice thing about it is it does have an auto off feature. So if they don't hear any sound, actually, they can still hear some sound. They will turn off. And if you're wearing them, they will warn you that they're going to turn off so that you can like push a button so that they don't turn off. They also talk to you when they say that. They will say like battery low. When you turn them on, they say power on. When you turn them off, they say power off, etc., etc. And as always, I probably missed a few of the features they have. I do have a love-hate relationship with these. The features are really awesome, but the little static whine thing is a little annoying. So the Firearms Insider review 8 key points: claim to fame, noise canceling, over-ear hearing protectors with Bluetooth, target market, shooters, hunters, or anybody needing hearing protection. The features and benefits, some of them we already went over. The 26 dB noise reduction rating, the dynamic suppression, the clear voice tracking, the Bluetooth, the auto shut off. They do have recessed microphones, which is supposed to help with wind noise and such. They do have cheek cutouts for the rifle stocks. The headband's vented, so that could help if it's really hot. They do have the 3.5mm jack, and they come with a carrying bag. They're only available in black, so you get black. There are a couple things on what others are saying, and there is a link to another review at Gun Holsters and Gear. MSRP on these is $199.99, but it seems like they might be kind of like Ruger on hearing protection, because pretty much everywhere I looked on Amazon and Brownells and such, but on Amazon they're $119.99 with Prime shipping if you have Prime. So if you need it now, go to Amazon and buy them. Our rating, the pros, they have excellent noise cancellation. They do use AA batteries, which are available about anywhere. The Bluetooth is a nice feature. The auto shut off is a nice feature for people like me that forget to actually turn stuff off. And the fitting over the hat button is pretty cool. The cons is the static sound and the headband comfort if you're not wearing a hat. So the score, I gave them a 7.5 of good. And that pretty much covers the review. You guys got any questions?
Yeah, you said there was cutouts on. They look really bulky. You didn't have any problem getting a cheek weld or anything?
I did not. And that kind of surprised me too, because they're probably a good 1/2 inch wider than like my 6S's, because they're the thin ones. And
right,
but
I
like
Howard lights they look quite a bit thinner than that. And even then,
right,
they'll start to mess with my cheek weld.
Right. And the Howard lights, even though they're thinner, I can't even get a good cheek weld with wearing those. But with these, just that little cutout seems to make a difference. I don't really.
Which Howard lights do you have, Zane?
I don't know. I got them in here somewhere.
The sports, right? The green ones with the speaker.
Yeah, I have the sports.
They're like
okay. Yeah, I those are fine until like hour number 3 wearing them. Like if you're going like short range trips, great. But if you're at the range all day teaching a class or taking a class, I'm like, yo, dude, I need to get, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to use foamies, old school foamies more for that very reason.
I'm starting to figure out that
when I take full 2-day classes or full day classes or whatever, I tip on if I'm running from like a duty belt or whatever, or a tactical Timmy belt or whatever, I have a clip on my belt that I take them off and on quite often. So I don't really notice them getting uncomfortable because I never wear them for more than, one string of fire, and then your instructor usually talks for a little bit. So, but I know what you're talking about. I wouldn't wear them for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, because that really, wow, just wow. And it's like, yeah, fine. While I have them on, it's a pain. But now after I have them off, it's like, why does my head hurt a little? You know what I mean? It's not a real full-blown headache, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that hearing protection over the ear style is kind of like gun fit in your hand. If you can really try them on, it's probably a better idea.
Yeah, and I think really, hopefully the cost keeps going down on the ones that you see at the shows that they made for your individual ear when they pour stuff in it.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I'd really appreciate that. Just have the price go lower and lower until it at least becomes not insane to have.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Go ahead.
What I do, honestly, is I have a pair of those like you're talking about, Tony, that are custom molded to my ear, but they're electronic ones. They're just the cheap ones that you mold yourself at home, and I wear those underneath my electronic Air Pro, and then that way, because you only get one set of hearing. It's once it's gone, it's gone. It's cumulative.
Right.
So it's a pretty cheap way to get good hearing protection. But like you say, the cost is going down and down. And honestly, a lot of people look, $120 for Ear Pro. But if you spend a lot of time on a range, it's well worth that.
Well, believe me, you can always tell the older guys that shot a lot because you have to repeat everything to them. You will lose your hearing if you don't take care of it. But there comes a point where, at over $300 for some of that stuff, I'm like, not happening. When the foam earplugs work even better,
right?
They do, and the foam earplugs work even better than the electrical ones, and everyone's talking louder at the range anyway. Nobody's whispering at the range or having a conversation at normal levels. Everyone's talking loudly.
Right, and the big advantage with like running electronic earmuffs over like even foamies is that most of them you can turn up past normal volume, so they're amplifying your volume, and so you can actually hear through the foamies better when people talk than if you just had, with two sets of hearing protection. It's weird that you can hear better.
Right, that's just what I do. I just run mine all the way up. I run, the regular plug and run the volume all the way up on the electronic.
Right. And depending,
it's done. But the difference, like I think, between the ones these Peltors here and like the Howard lights that I run is, aside from about $70, the difference is when the Howard lights shut off sound when the gun
right.
Starts.
Yeah,
and that's what the 6S's I said I had. That's what they do, and most of the time it's not a big deal. But the nice thing about these is that they don't do that, and it's really nice. Like if you're trying to hear people,
especially when we run things on the line, and you're talking to one person. Like Sean and I team teach.
Right.
So if he has a guy got the line shooting, and I'm trying to correct the guy, and they keep shutting off as he's talking to me, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I can say is I've tried to talk to people when we used to have machine gun shoots here. I'd always volunteer, and you'd try to talk to people, and then somebody would like light off an AK close by, and so you're talking fine for like a second, and then literally you don't hear anything for 5 seconds of what somebody was saying. It's like you hear, oh yeah, and then it's
yeah, I had that same problem when I used to work machine gun ranges, and it now the thing with Electronic Hearing Pro is they're great if everyone on the range has them. Well, like suppressors, right? If everyone has one, it's awesome. But if one person doesn't, they're really not nearly as
effective.
Yep. Zane or Tony, I don't remember who, I don't know if you guys remember when I did the review on those decibels earplugs. They're like a warm water moldable earplug.
Yes.
Those things work pretty well, at least for me. I mean, I usually, like when I went to range day down at SHOT Show, I just took those because, you know, you got this little package of things you got to carry around instead of, you know, earmuffs. And yeah, they're not amplified or electronic or anything, but they're passive and they still work fairly well, and you can still hear people fairly well, better than just like phones.
I found the Surefire, the Surefire you can pick up at Walmart for like $11, $12. I found those work well also.
Yes. Yep. I hear you. Well,
Really?
I guess what?
Really?
What?
Exactly.
What?
All right, let's
Remember,
roll.
you were talking about old people. So now we're on to the product spotlight and discussion. And first up,
Really? That's what we're gonna call this now? All right, cool.
yeah, that's what it's called now. so that people like who knows who understands.
Okay.
First up is the Lone Wolf Signature Series number 23. And I kind of what it is Lone Wolf is starting to make custom slides. They're like their signature series is kind of a custom, kind of one-off style, but they have some designs you can do, and it's not just something they're going to sell just for everybody. It's kind of hard to explain, but so what this one is it's a slide for like Glock 1917s, 34s. And the one caveat is you have to buy one of their Alpha Wolf blank slides for this particular cut. You can't send them a blank Glock slide or something. So that adds another $175 to $200 to your price. And just the machine work itself costs $199.95. So what this is it's a slide with kind of nifty cuts, but the front half they like rounded. I'm going with, it's odd looking, probably because we're not used to seeing it. But basically, for $400, you can get one of these slides fully machined, and you'll have something nobody else does. But we still haven't I haven't seen one on an actual gun. All the pictures are just of the slide itself. I'd like to see one on the gun. I think Zane would too. But what this kind of reminds me of, it kind of gives it the look of like an auto mag, if you've ever seen one of those. And it is, I don't know. I particularly think it's a little odd, but I could see how some people might like it. And it's something different, new. So if that's your thing, great. Now we'll let Tony and Zane have at it.
Hold on, I'm sending you guys.
Oh, great.
Here you go. There you go. All right. If you check our chat on the phones, I send it to you what these look like. Now, you said we were going to do the one on the 23. I found some more that they did, their signature series, different numbers. And it's a cool looking slide. And in this world of build it yourself, where we are at this point, yeah, it's going to be unique. It's going to be different. And truthfully, having them do it, and then you have to add all the parts, it looks like it's still going to come to you stripped, right?
Correct. That's my understanding.
Right. So pretty much it's you can send it out to one of the high-end places and have the work done, or you can have it done yourself from Lone Wolf, get back, send it out to be Cerakoted yourself. And listen, there's no shortcuts. You want something cool, you're going to have to pay for it. I
Yep.
mean, it's that simple. You want something cool, you're going to have to pay for it. But understand this: when you do this, this isn't a Glock. So if you want that whole Glock dependability, this ain't it. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying this doesn't have the same legacy as your Glock 17, your Glock 34, your Glock 19.
Right.
This is some aftermarket stuff that can work fine, but it's just not the thing that was issued to the Austrian military. It's not the thing that the U.S. Army Rangers use. You know what I mean? It's just your fun gun that you want to either take to the range, use for self-defense, whatever you're going to use it for. Just understand it's not that legacy Glock. Other
Yep.
than that, have fun with it, man.
Oh yeah, and you know, I think you can pretty much get a custom Glock slide frame, whatever you're doing. You can get them to run reliably. It's just, you know, don't trust it until you run it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it either. I'm just saying understand what you have.
Right, right, and I
is,
don't.
When I first saw it, I was like, man, that's ugly. And then I kind of liked it, and now I think it's ugly again. I don't know.
You see the one I sent you?
Yeah, I saw the one, but the ones you
Yeah.
sent weren't nearly as rounded as this one. This one almost looks like it's going to make your Glock look more like a Ruger Mark IV or something.
Right, because it's literally like round almost.
Yeah,
It does look like an automag. It really does look automag.
Thanks, Tony.
Describe it. But yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. In my opinion, is things should be functional in nature, not aesthetic in nature. If it's also aesthetically pleasing, that's great. But like, what function does this serve? I don't think it serves one. Now, again, that's me. I know a lot of people just, they pay $600 to have their gun make it look like it was used in battle instead of just using it. So,
Hey, I offer that service, by the way. So if you guys have a brand new Glock 19X you want to send me, and you're gonna
look battle worn.
along with the ammo, I can battle war the hell out of it. I'm just like now.
It's not hard. I mean, you just tie it to the back of your pickup and drag it through something.
Yeah, okay. No. But yeah, I think it's, hey, have fun with your gun, man. I mean, we're now to the point, we've been talking about it before. We're to the point where it's customized. Everybody can customize everything. You can have your non-Glock Glock, and you can make it look quite unique, like everybody else's quite unique gun.
And the whole customizing thing isn't new. It's taken off recently. But I mean, dudes have been doing this with 1911 since probably
1911.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so, but I mean, it has really taken off lately. I know Brownell's just released that like 1022 receiver thing you can build.
Yeah. Yep.
Glock's gone crazy. The Glock market right now, or the not Glock market right now, is crazy. I heard something about M&Ps possibly. They're good. There's, I think, Poly supposed to be doing M&P frames. So, I mean, like you say, Tony, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the point to where everyone makes their own stuff. The problem is everyone doesn't make quality stuff.
Right. And the thing is at least with Lone Wolf, you're getting quality products.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problem saying that. And even, I mean, you can get their Alpha Wolf frames and stuff. And don't they make Timberwolf and like 45?
Timberwolf? Yep.
Yeah.
They make the Timberwolf. They make the Alpha Wolf. I look at it. I think Alpha Wolf is barrel. So, but my whole thing is have fun, man. Have fun. If you're going to use it for a defensive purpose, a range gun, whatever, just make sure your gun works. A lot of this is putting it together. I don't think even their stuff is really fitting it, is it? You don't have to fit with Lone Wolf, do you? Everything is dropping.
I don't think so. I'm assuming they're probably tighter tolerances like most of the aftermarket stuff, and the chance of you having to fit it onto a stock Glock is probably pretty minimal.
Yeah. So
I mean, really.
Hey, come up with your own cool thing, man. I mean, why not? Is it going to get you killed in the streets? No more than anything else. You don't know how to run. I mean, so run your gun.
That's right.
And have it look cool.
Yep. Well, yeah, I don't have a problem with stuff looking cool. I mean, there's certain things I have that I wouldn't trust my life to.
I couldn't tell from the pictures, and I didn't see it anywhere in the article. Is it cut for an RMR?
I don't see that in the pictures
I don't
at all.
see
I don't
that.
see it cut for an RMR.
And I did not. Let me check their site again.
I'm pretty sure you have
say.
to be cut for an RMR to make it in today's market. To be fair, like
I think you can cut it on their RMR slide.
They have an RM slide too, yeah.
Oh,
So
you would have to buy the RMR blanket and then have this package,
right? Which I don't think adds any price to it.
I got you.
Or I'm not seeing an RMR blank on it right now, but either way, I'm sure because of the way this slide is, I'm sure they can put an RMR cut.
Can I critique this real quick? One of the things, hey, Lone Wolf, you really need to work on your website. It is not easy to navigate. I'm sorry. There are better ways to do what you're doing with your website. I've been going on it for years, and it really hasn't gotten any better.
I think it's been the same website for years, but
yeah,
I mean, I think they've changed it at least once since I started going on it.
My thing is, it's like, okay, I want to look this up. All right, fine. I found a number 23. Well, wait a minute. That was 21. Wait a minute. How do I get back? I have to go. It's like, dudes,
right.
I really want to look at your product. I want to be able to compare it easily, and you're not making it easy for me. I mean, I'm doing the show, and I really want to have information. Like when Zane asked about the RMR cuts, I'm like, I am not going to check because it's going to take forever.
Right. Right. And, hey, maybe they're working on it. Who knows? So if you want a custom automag slide for your Glock, go check out Lone Wolf. Now we're going to get on to what Tony's going to make fun of me for. The new SIG P229 Legion Compact, single action only, with an MSRP of $1,413. Now, I think Tony knows why I stuck this in here, but I will go over these specs here to make it, before Tony razzes on me too much. It is in 9mm. Imagine that. It's the compact size. The grips are black G10. It has a PVD frame. It's kind of a gray color. It's an alloy frame, steel slide. The slide is stainless steel. It's carbon steel barrel. It does have a SIG rail on it, so that's good for Zane. It does have their single action only trigger, with the trigger type being their Master Shop flat trigger, which looks pretty cool. I kind of think it's pretty cool that they're making a single action only version. It's a 3.9-inch barrel, so this is their Glock size if you don't know what the 229 is. Overall length is 7.1 inches. It's 1.7 inches wide, which I'm guessing is the grip probably. The height's 5.5 inches, and it still weighs in at 32 ounces. So it's not a light gun. Not a super heavy one, not super light. Like I said, it is their proprietary Legion gray PVD coating. It has their electro-optics X-ray 3 day-night sights. It comes with 3 magazines, etc., etc., etc. They do make a version that comes with 10-round magazines instead of the standard capacity 15 rounds. SIG does a few things. The Legion series, I mean, they're basically just kind of enhanced versions of their pistols. The reason
don't you have to be a Legionnaire, or don't you have to be in their club to purchase a Legion gun?
No, I think
it's the other way around. Purchase
you buy the Legion, club, then you get in the club.
Okay, I gotcha.
But in this case, like I said, it's single action, so it does have a safety, no grip safety, so it's not a 1911. Safety is in the appropriate spot to actually be able to use it, unlike some guns that think they need to put it somewhere odd. But basically, I don't know. I'm kind of partial to single action guns, especially when you can get something like this in it. It's not just your 1911. It's a SIG 226, 229 in, single action. That's my take on it.
I think. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. I thought I was on mute. I think they're great. I've shot the Legion. I've put a bunch of rounds through the regular single action, double action. This thing, it's probably a really, really sweet shooter. A friend of mine, Justin Opinion, he has one. I don't know. No, he doesn't have the 229 single action. He has a 226 single action only. And he loves the thing. They have a sweet trigger. Is it? And I love everybody wants to get down to, is it worth it? Well, yeah, it's worth it if you're willing to spend the money on it. If you start adding all the enhancements up on a regular SIG, you come out a winner if you buy a Legion. Plus, understand, a Legion is an enhanced SIG with fanboy sprinkles. You get the Legion stuff. You get into the little Legion club where you can buy Legion product. I mean, no one else can get that stuff. You have it. And also you get a case, special Legion pistol case that has the cutouts and cloth covered foam and a challenge coin with your serial number for your firearm on it. And what does all that mean? Well, I'm thinking a stock Legion. A Legion will retain its value a lot more than that regular SIG 229 that you sent out and had work done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think you're right. And really, if you look at the price, it's not terrible. I mean, SIGs aren't the cheapest or least expensive, handguns anyway. So,
what is a basic 229 going to cost you? $800? Like
$900, yeah, and that's
retail,
and that's actual cost. That is not MSRP. We're rolling with MSRP right now.
Yeah.
If you go with MSRP, what, a regular SIG is still $1,000?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, around there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is $1,400 again, MSRP. I went and I checked out some custom SIG work, and just the night sights alone are $150.
Right.
All right. Now we go with the special coating, which I think what is that, diamond something another coating?
Yeah, it's polyvinyl.
Well, no, that's what theirs are. So I'm trying to figure out an equivalent in the market, and that's that diamond coating everybody's talking about now.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking over $200 for that. Now let's talk about the undercut on the trigger guard. Let's talk about the special G10 grips. The reset trigger and the trigger job. It's like once you start adding all that up, you're still coming out with a good gun at a base price before you throw all the SIG fanboy stuff in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I completely understand it.
What do you think the target market is for this? Do you think this is for people to carry, or for people to just take it to the range, or for people to brag about?
Brag about. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's the same market as people who buy agency Glocks and spend $2,500 for an agency Glock with a whole bunch of bells and whistles on it. I
guess I ask those because those people are carrying those agency Glocks.
I don't see a problem. This is kind of a multi-use, if you ask me, because it is a carry gun, and I mean, a lot of people don't like to carry single action onlys, but a lot of people do. So
I mean, yeah, I would prefer it in their traditional double action if I was going to carry it, but at the same time, that's just a personal preference. That's
right.
Yeah,
right.
Because there are also people carrying Nighthawk custom 1911s that have them cocked and locked too. So I mean, again, carry what you prefer.
I've never shot a 229. I've shot plenty of 226s.
Right.
And I think I've even shot a Legion 226. I mean, like I said, SIG makes good guns. Well, there's a little debacle.
Yeah, as long as it's not a 365 or 320.
So by the sounds of it, SIG makes excellent hammer-fired guns.
They make good metal guns.
Yeah.
They make good hammer-fired guns.
Yeah.
They make good hammer-fired guns. Check out the SIG 250. It's still laughing its butt off because everybody ignored it. But yeah, the SIG Legion series is really quality guns. It's a step up from a regular SIG. Again, it has fanboy sprinkles. If you dig them, cool. If you don't, I still think you're getting a pretty good deal when you buy a SIG Legion because it's an enhanced SIG.
I agree with you.
I think it's a lot like if you're like a SIG fanboy, and I don't mean that derogatory, like you need a gun, you know. What were the Glocks they came out with? The one with the fish scales, the RT.
The
whatever they were, right? Like there was nothing too fancy about them, but Glock fanboys wanted them, and they ate them up, and I'm I kind of want one. I'm a
like the OD green Glocks,
right? You know? So I mean, I don't really particularly want one of these because I'm not really a SIG guy, but I would have no problem carrying this. I would love to shoot one of these. I mean, I think they're, I think it's a great looking gun. I think they've really done their research and they know who their target market is. And I think their target market is SIG fanboys. And like I said, I don't mean that in a bad way. Everyone's got their brand preference.
Well, here's what I think though. I think they pushed it so hard with the fanboy thing that they kind of missed out on the opportunity to just show people they have a top of the line SIG 229 and 226 with the Legion series. I think they pushed that fanboy so hard that it probably turned off some people that would be willing to pay $300 for a factory tweaked enhanced SIG.
Right.
Because that's exactly what this is. This is if, I don't know, Glock actually made a lot of the changes and listened to people. Like a Glock Gen 5. You know what I mean? It has the tapered mag weld. It has a lot of the things that people want already on a Glock. And I think that's the same thing, except better job. Like with stippling, with front end serrations, with a heck of a lot better trigger. All that stuff is done on this, including night sights. And I think this is an awesome pistol. Only because I've shot the 226 Legion, double action, single action. And I'm like, dude, I want one, but I can't justify that cost when I can still pick up a used Glock, for like $325.
And to answer Zane's question, MSRP on a standard 229 is $1,087. So,
okay.
And they do make the Legion series in a non-single action only, and it's the same price. You can also get the Legion with their SIG optic on it, the Romeo. But of course, it's $1,600.
Yeah.
So,
So really, my thing is one of my favorite things about the 226 and 229 is the trigger system, the DAS.
Yeah.
So I would rather have this in their traditional double action than single action only.
Yeah,
but that is an option, though, right?
Yeah. No, they had the single action, double action. Those came out a couple years ago. Again, I shot the single action, double action 226. Okay, how do I put this? Sometimes you shoot a gun and all of a sudden you look like you somehow gained a superpower. Like you shot that much better. You like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yes.
That happened with this. That happened with my CZ75, and that happened with this. All of a sudden, I was shooting, and it moved up a couple of notches because everything is there. It's understated. There's no big fancy cutouts in the slide. You know what I mean? Like when you look at some of the I forget the name of some of these companies, but the companies that do all the work that shows up in all the Instagram photos that you ooh and ah over, like Agency. And I know Agency isn't the only one, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Terrell Defense and stuff like that. And they have all these cutouts and everything's like flashy. And I'm like, that really doesn't enhance running of the gun at all.
Yeah,
this
that
stuff.
goes back to what I was saying with that slide. You know, I like things that are going to make the gun easy for me to work. I like deeper cocking serrations. I like front cocking serrations. I like, you know, I'm not a big fan of windows because I don't think they do anything unless you need to remove the weight for putting the optic on or something. That's one thing. But, you know, so that's
Sean and I actually had that conversation while we were on the phone earlier before the show started, with this need to cut windows out on every slide everybody has for no reason whatsoever. And I'm like, this thing is a functional pistol that doesn't stray so far away from the original 229 and 226 that has the service reputation, that all of a sudden you have an entirely new animal. Now, you do have single action only, but again, that's not so far-fetched. Plus, you have a single action only and 9mm with 15 rounds on tap.
Yep.
And it's better than any double stack 1911 out there, because the only ones that are left are Rock Island Armory. That's it. That's the only company really making that, unless you step on up to from STI.
Right.
And what's that? In the upper 2000s?
Oh, if not more.
Yeah. So how many double stacked single action only guns do we have out there, really?
Is your CZ, can you carry it cocked and locked?
Yep, cocked and locked.
My witness is that way too, but
isn't there a Beretta model that has a single action only, like a 92 model, like the 92B or something?
There might be.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Make it anymore, but really, yeah. I mean, if you're looking at like compact guns,
this is a compact single action only.
You're pretty much limited.
15, yeah.
The
Glock 19 size, the Wilson Combat EDC.
Right, the CZs, and like the Hudson doesn't make a compact yet.
Nope.
But and when they do, that'll be awesome.
That'll be awesome, but again, their price tag is probably going to be twice this.
It's going to be the same price as this or more, yeah. So I got you.
You know what? Actually, I have a 45, 12-round capacity that can be carried cocked and locked. Unfortunately, it's a Taurus and jams every 3 rounds, but it is.
Yeah, but when we talk about double stacks, 1911-ish, or excuse me, not even 1911, double stack single action only guns aren't that many. There aren't definitely any with the reputation that SIG has. I mean, Wilson Combat, again, makes their EDC. That's a 15-round single action.
Smaller 1911 pattern.
Yeah, but again, it does not have the reputation and the long military and law enforcement reputation as a SIG.
Right. And I think really, in my opinion, the CZ style of original with that you can carry cocked and locked are basically the only ones that compare.
Yeah, and I actually think
reputation, etc.
Yep, and I think they're probably, and this might be my own again CZ fanboy, but I think they might be better just because of the way they're built inherently.
Well, yes, I mean I understand. Like with a SIG, you have a larger slide to grab onto, which can help some people or situations.
But you also have a higher bore axis, which I think people make too much about. But still, I think there's pros and cons in both. We're not talking about the CZ right now, but I think we're talking good quality guns, and it's rare air that these things are flying around in right now. I think there's, again, like we said, there's only 2 or 3 guns that are in this category.
Right. And I'm sure, hopefully somebody will write us and tell us all the options we can get in this category. But, you know.
Para ordinance is gone now, and Remington ruined that. So, what are we talking about?
Yep. Rock Island Armory or...
Rock Island has their double stacks, but again, it doesn't have the reputation from law enforcement or the military.
Yep.
Nope.
So, yep. Well, okay. I guess if they want to send us 3 of them, since there's 3 of us here tonight,
I'll take that.
Yep. And we did not have any listener feedback besides Ed saying stuff about Zane. Did you get that message, Zane?
Yeah, I did.
Oh wow, I missed the message from Ed. I was actually texting him early today.
No, he actually sent us a message, and it said, Zane, if I stopped being friends with someone every time I had a debate with them, I wouldn't have any friends. And then it says, how are you doing? You making out with your pistol caliber carbine?
Zane doesn't own a pistol caliber carbine, Ed. He owns a pistol caliber pistol.
Yeah, my pistol caliber pistol is doing just fine. I actually have a SIG optic on top of. No, I don't have a SIG optic. I have a Vortex optic on top of it that I have been bouncing around some of the back roads really hard over the last several weeks. I'm gonna see if it'll hold zero.
There's a good chance it will.
Yeah,
I'm hoping. I mean, but I have been running it. I've been putting it in my truck when I'm going out places, and I mean, some of these roads I'm driving down are terrible. And let's see if I can bounce it out of zero. I don't know. You know, it's $150 red dot. So
which one is it?
The new Crossfire red dot. They dropped it at SHOT Show, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Or right.
Yeah, I got to contact them because I want to get a few. I mean, we can talk about diversity shoot now since we have no listener feedback.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead, Tony.
The reason I wanted to get some is I've changed my philosophy, or at least updated it. I'm trying to reach out to the industry to get red dots for the guns that I bring to the diversity shoot, because it's easier just to tell a new shooter, put the red dot on the target and pull the trigger. Because what the diversity shoot is exposure. It's exposing new people to the guns. And sure, front sight, rear sight, doing that whole sight alignment, sight picture thing is great. But really, I'm just trying to get people to squeeze triggers and enjoy shooting guns for the very first time. So I don't need to create marksmen. So I put the Holosons on because Holosun donated 2 different optics, and people are loving it because all they have to do is walk up, pick up the AR, get trained on how we do the safety brief before they come to the range, and then we have range personnel, volunteers that are mostly NRA certified instructors, and they just give them a quick rundown, put the dot on the target, take the safety off, squeeze the trigger, and people are having a great time and just keeping it moving. So I don't have, they don't have to go through how to line up the sights and everything. So yeah, I'm going to reach out to the industry and ask for more optics and just put them on everything I have. And also that gives us something to talk about here and stuff to test.
Right.
So yeah,
the brand new optic, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to contact them because they have an Elite series now with their stuff in green. And really, when I notice, even with my stigmatism, I'm thinking green helps me better than red does.
Yes.
So hopefully I can get some help from them.
Yeah.
The next diversity shoot is coming up soon. It's in 2 weeks. It's going to be Thursday, June 7th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. Because it's a family situation, I may be out of state for this particular one, so Sean is probably going to be hosting it. I've already reached out and put together a really top-notch team that's going to help run it. Hopefully I'm still here and I can be there. It's, of course, if you don't know, it's a Second Amendment workshop dedicated to actually introducing people to real firearms owners and killing the negative media-driven stereotype of firearms owners being racist white rednecks. I'm not saying there aren't any racist white rednecks that own firearms, but they're in a much, much minority, and none will be at the diversity shoot because everyone that shows up at the diversity shoot actually wants to grow the firearms community. And you're going to be able to shoot a lot of guns. You're going to be able to eat some pizza. You're going to be able to win some prizes. First 10 people through the door get giveaway bags. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun event. We sell tickets on Eventbrite. You can type in "The Second is for Everyone" and it'll pop up as an event. We only have 40 tickets for sale, mainly because we have overflowed the room so many times that it's become a problem. So again, go to Eventbrite, buy a ticket. If you want to help us out and support what we do, you can go to diversityshoot.com, click the links for our GoFundMe and donate there. You can go to our Patreon page and donate there every month. We're going to come up with prizes. We're really trying to figure out how to do this to make it fair and give prizes away to Patreons. You guys can enter and win there. Also, go to our Facebook page on Second is for Everyone on Facebook, and Simon Says Train on both Facebook and Instagram. See the pictures we do. We post them all the time, and we really want people to be part of this. You can also listen to the Second is for Everyone podcast on wherever you catch your podcast apps, because we're on so many of them. It's ridiculous. I mean, I haven't heard of most of them, but we're on iTunes and Spreaker, and then a lot of stuff I never heard of. Hey, you ever heard of Radio Cast or Cast? I don't know. It's just so many of them. Hold on. Where is it? I wrote them down because I did an interview earlier tonight. Let me see. Pocket Cast, Overcast, Radio Public, and Castbox, and Anchor.
Why not Stitcher?
What?
Why not Stitcher?
Well, okay, that's one.
That's what I use is Stitcher.
Oh, what about iTunes?
I'm on iTunes.
I know.
So iTunes about 3 or 4 weeks ago just went wonky, and like it crashes as soon as you open a podcast. It just crashes on me.
Oh, I have no idea.
So I just quit using it and started using Stitcher instead. Someone told me to delete all your subscriptions, then delete the app, then reinstall the app, and then resubscribe to everyone at work. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll just use Stitcher.
Yeah, or I could just stop using your app and use someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm on Spotify, or sent out to get approved by Spotify also. I'm not sure. And yeah, Google Play is another one people ask me about. So my whole thing is reach out. It's Sean and I doing the Second is for Everyone podcast, and I'm not as edited as I am here.
No, sometimes it's pretty funny too. Listen to Tony rant.
Oh, my mad minute.
Yeah, you're mad like 50 minutes.
It's never 1 minute, because it's funny. I do the mad minute. I write down what I want to talk about, and then I get angry as I'm reading it.
Yeah. They're pretty funny. They're pretty funny.
All right, guys. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for taking up your time. I know everybody's going, come on, Tony, hurry up and get it over with. I have to get out of the car now. But thanks, guys, for allowing me to come on and talk about this every week. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys that reach out in the emails and everything, and say you appreciate what we do, because it's a group effort. It's a group effort to make the diversity shoot work. And if you listen to last week's show, you know why I'm laughing. Because I got feedback, and everybody thanked me for what I did and totally ignored Sean, which is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny.
Keep that up, because it's funny. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and I really appreciate all the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're welcome, Tony. I'll make sure and write something about Sean next time. I guess we're into the wrap up. Send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review if you can get into iTunes, I guess. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Firearms Insider, and follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. And thank you again for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.